LGBTQIA plus community has been underrepresented in the industry for a long time. Years, in fact. An example of this was back in 2015, when a League of Legends esports league in the Philippines made a controversial decision to limit how many LGBT players could compete, claiming they have an unfair advantage. Of course, this was met with a wide range of criticism and negativity, even by the developers of League of Legends themselves, Riot Games, who said that LGBT players are welcome in official League of Legends tourneys. This ruling was eventually tossed out, and Garena Esports, the organisation responsible, apologised. Outside of this, in the wider games industry, LGBT players make up 1/5 of the player base. But why are they so underrepresented in esports? Join F4 Media Productions as we delve into the pride of esports. While the gaming industry is starting to incorporate LGBTQIA+ items and ways to show support for pride in their games, what are esports organisations and teams doing to promote inclusivity? And what would people want to see happen to welcome more LGBT players into the industry? That is the main question that I have been asking.
I think it's there. It's sort of like behind the scenes. In some ways, it's getting better.
I think it's huge, especially now. Maybe if you go back like 7 years, maybe not as much, but it's definitely come about. You'll see teams celebrating Pride Month, which is massive for the community. Like, it's one of the biggest things organisations can do.
We have seen organisations starting to incorporate the rainbow flag, especially during Pride Month, into their logos, jerseys and merchandise. But this hasn't stopped the tirade of hate and homophobia that comes out towards openly LGBT players and industry folk. Even on grassroots level, orgs and teams are looking to support one another in the LGBTQIA+ community by creating an inclusive space for all players, no matter their sexuality. The team Coventry Crosshairs, who are competing in various games in the British Esports Association Student Championships, is a massive example of this.
So I am the co-founder of Coventry Crosshairs, and I deal with the running and the operational aspect of the organisation. So just general things like getting people together, making key decisions, about the angle that we take on any particular events or anything that goes out in terms of our socials. I'm also the face of Crosshairs as well. So any kind of external meetings, business aspects of it, I sort of deal with that.
In my opinion, this is a brilliant way of introducing themselves during their time in education. This could help harbour a safer, inclusive community in the future for esports.
I was on my game, Rocket League, and I saw that there was something going on called RCSX. So I checked it out, and it was really cool. Like, there was a lot of cool moments in the game, and I really enjoyed the content. Also, like, the casters, like, the energy itself was very lively. So I decided, like, how do I get involved in this? And that's how I found the Crosshairs, and that's how I got involved myself.
It is good to have multiple standpoints of this, from different aspects of the esports industry, especially on a grassroots level, as that is inspiring the future generation of professional gamers who are wanting to take their gaming experience to the next level and be inclusive of all while doing it. Outside of the Coventry Crosshairs, there are also other organisations at a grassroots level that also believe in inclusion for all at all levels, Vulpine Esports being a great example of this. I managed to catch up with their stream lead, Just Callie, to ask her about inclusion and LGBT representation in esports.
I've seen tournaments where the casters will ask for players' pronouns so that they get those correct. Obviously, how you identify and what your pronouns are a big thing in the space. So I think it's a baby at the moment, LGBTQ in esports, but I think it's getting better. You've got games like Apex, who, their legend roster. You've got non-binary people, you've got lesbians, you've got gays, you've got pansexuals. So the representation for the legends is there. So hopefully, these players sometimes at some point might feel that they're okay enough to come out, but it's a massive thing, given, the toxicity in esports, because that is also a massive thing. So I think you've got to be set to go against the toxicity if you're going to come out in esports. So it's the representation is there, but it needs to be a lot bigger and better, I think.
Again, they were leading more onto the content creation side of things here with Vulpine Esports stream lead, Callie. And this goes to show how some esports professionals might get love and support, but also hatred on chat forums, as well as social media comments.
Obviously, I don't want it to be like, hey, gay this, gay that, but I feel like it could be spread more of an awareness around and just included in a lot more things than it already is. Like I said, I don't really see it. Like if I scroll around Twitter, I don't really see a lot of gay and LGBTQ stuff. So I feel like maybe it could be spread around a bit more.
So in Apex, you've got your banners, and you can set little, they're not emojis, but you can set your little trackers and whatever. And Apex have an LGBTQIA one that's also, for trans rights and Black Pride. So I've got that on one of my banners, and I went into a game and somebody was like, oh my God, remove that trash, blah, 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 and said a few things. I instantly reported them, but it kind of triggered me a bit. I was like, it's literally some colors on a flag that say that we're all human. What is wrong with that?
So you've got the stereotypical bigot who like, oh, the alphabet mafia, get rid of them, hate them, disgusting, get me a Greg's pasty, all that jazz. Like the bald man in 50 is called Alan, who won't stop harassing me on Twitter. Yeah, I see you, Alan. Leave me alone. So there's positives and negatives to it.
Personally, I have seen this a lot on different LGBT content creators, different homophobic and offensive comments, but this can be overshadowed by the amount of positivity and support that these creators can get as well.
I do see a lot of love on social media, and I see a lot more, smaller streamers who are completely proud of who they are, and they're heading into esports and they're ready to be awesome. So I think, love and support is overshadowing. So who cares about those petty people, right?
I think that there are enough people, and there will be enough people in the future to really push that positive side forward. Like I said, it's going in the right direction, and it's going to continue.
But yeah, we just need to keep going at the same pace. And just more recognition for the people who deserve with all this talent.
Overall, there is a massive push to increase inclusivity in esports, and this is reflected at that grassroots level, but even higher up, with teams showing their support for LGBT pride in various ways. But we are still a long way from where we need to be in that front.